everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Wendy and this is my soul shelf. Today we're going to be discussing The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This book was it was something, all right. This book is considered a romantasy and historical fiction book, and it clocked in at 434 pages. I roughly spent around maybe 2.5 days reading this book. This book made me feel seen, but at the same time, it left me a little broken. Well, what is this book about? This book is about a girl named Addie, and Addie has always been an adventurous little girl up until she was about 23. Addie always craved freedom, and she normally would go with her dad to sell things at the market. He was a woodworker, and so she would always, at any given opportunity, she wanted to flee, like explore different areas, different towns, and that didn't last very long. So since Addie grew up in the 1700s, at the age of 23, she was looked at as she was too old to marry. I know. So when the opportunity arose, well, her parents wanted to arrange a marriage to a widower with 2 children. So imagine a 23-year-old wanting to explore the world and basically being tied to a man because her parents said so. A lot to unpack there, but it was the 1700s, so what do we expect? The book goes between the 1700s and the 2000s, so 2013, 2014, and the book keeps flopping and flipping and flopping to those centuries, and yeah, it gets crazy. So when the time came for Addie to marry this man, she wanted out. She didn't want marriage. She wanted freedom. She wanted to travel. She wanted to see the world for what it was. She was always told growing up by a neighbor to never pray after dark because you never know what comes answering. And so on the day of Addie's wedding, she ran to the house under the pretenses of, hey, I forgot something from my hubby. She didn't. She was just running. So she was just very desperate to get out of that situation. And so what did she do? Well, she prayed. And who answered? I want to say Satan himself. But the book describes him as darkness and everything that encompasses darkness. So I got the hint that it's a demon. And well, she made a bargain. She lives forever. She is free and she can do as she wishes. And well, that came with a little bit of payment. The bargain was she lives forever, she doesn't die, and she is granted freedom. However, no one can remember her, not a single soul. It's like she walks into a room and let's say you have a conversation with her. The next thing you know, the door closes and everything resets. It's like a big old reset button. That had got to be so frustrating and so agonizing because A, you can't hold a job. B, you can't hold housing. C, you can't have any romantic relationships because, well, your date is gonna forget. It is just all around a difficult situation. I didn't want to be her. At that point in time, I did not want to be this girl, but she perseveres. This demon basically comes to her every year and on the anniversary of them making the bargain. And well, yeah, things get weirder and weirder because every year he comes and he's like, give me your soul and I'll set you free. And all of this will be gone. All the things that are happening to you right now could be easily resolved if you just give me your soul and be done with life. Addie hanged on to her guns. She said, nope, you can suck it. So then 300 years pass. And at this point, I don't even know how this girl is holding up. You know, she can't even write or say her name. Can't say her name. If somebody asks her what her name is, she's like, like, it just can't come out. If she tries to write her name, it disappears. Anything she does, like let's say she is drinking a bottle of wine, well, not a bottle, like like a glass of wine, and she just accidentally slipped and fell, and our couch is dirty, everything's dirty. It cleans itself up. It's as if she was never there. It's as if she's a ghost. But fortunately for her, she does meet a love interest midway through. His name is Henry, and quickly she does find out that he remembers her. So Henry gives her hope. He gives her hope, and she's like, oh my gosh, I finally found someone that can see me today, right now, and I can turn around, close the door, open it back up, and he still remembers me. I would cry, tears of joy. I don't know what I would do at that point, but I'd literally be like, marry me. Marry me right now. Addie quickly realizes that there's a reason why he remembers her, and yeah. Which gets me to my next phase of this review, which is the romance and spice in this book. The romance, it was kind of hard for her, man. I felt bad for her up until Henry, and then you have this demon basically coming around whenever he felt like it. Eventually, she slept with the enemy. Literally, I looked at the pages on this book and I'm like, why? You made a deal with him and now you're sleeping with him, and oh my god. But nonetheless, she continues her relationship with Henry. I really feel like she had a deep connection with Henry. They learned a lot about each other in the story, and I appreciated the development of their relationship and how he understands and he hears her out. Like, she spills all the beans and he's very understanding and very empathetic about her situation. And the other relationship, yes, there's two. There's two. Besides Henry, she did have something with the demon. Yep, that's right. You heard it here. But I feel like she quickly realized that we're just gonna call this demon Luke because that's what she named him. He didn't know how to love, really. He doesn't know the meaning of love. But I do feel like this demon does care about her. It's very toxic. Their whole relationship throughout the 300 years is super toxic. The spice is, I want to rate it like a 1 jalapeno. It wasn't anything crazy, anything out of the ordinary spice. So what I liked about this book was the healing and transformation of it all. Beyond the sadness of this book that I felt, especially going through what Addie was going through, there's this beautiful thread of hope. It reminded me that even when we feel invincible, there is some way, shape, or form that we can reclaim our power and we can reclaim our light. And it helped me see that we can carve our own little marks in this world and that we all have a place in this world. No matter how big you are or how small you are, you have a place on this earth, and you should always be remembered, even if it's by one person or 20 people. You will definitely leave a mark where you may not think you left a mark. And it made me think about the times where I gave someone a compliment, gave someone advice, or learned lessons in past relationships. We will always have a mark with someone. Literally sat there and thought to myself, wow, a compliment that I may have told someone one day, they kept it, and it probably became their inner voice, and that is a mark. I left a mark. Creating YouTube videos is a mark. Having my son was a mark on this earth. It means that I was alive at one point. Addie didn't have that. That's where I felt for her. My rating for this book. So I want to be as raw, honest as possible. I gave this book 4 stars. So my rating for this book was 4 stars. Reason why is because the writing was gorgeous. I felt like the writing was really good and the themes hit deep. However, I did struggle with pacing. Sometimes I felt like I was in and out. Some parts I felt were dragged out too long. I felt that it could have been, compressed a little bit. I just wanted it to reel me back in. Like, okay, where are we going with this? Where's the plot? Where's the plot here? I want to know more. And I felt like I had to go deeper into the book to get to the meat and potatoes. I understand that every chapter is important and important to Addie's story, but I felt like some of it was a little bit repetitive. Also, it felt, for me at least, like I was looking through a thick window pane and I was looking at Addie suffering, right? But I feel like the author didn't capture the loneliness. I felt like I wanted to feel the emotions. I wanted to be with Addie at that point in time. And I wanted to feel when she went back into the 1700s, I wanted to feel all the emotion, all the raw emotion of loneliness and, whatever she was going through at that time. I didn't want to feel like I was on the outside looking in. And maybe it was just because it was narrated, not because it was told by Addie, if that makes sense. But it didn't make the book bad at all. It was just, my personal opinion. I like how this book pointed out that healing is messy and non-linear. So I want to hear from you. Have you read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue? Did it make you feel seen or spark something in your own journey? So let's create the space here to share those feelings and stories, because sometimes knowing that we're not alone makes all the difference in the world. If you resonate with this real emotional book talk, don't forget to subscribe and like. I'll be sharing more stories that help us heal and help us stay connected. Thanks so much for being here with me. Till next time.